Hey everyone, this is Mike Andes, and you're listening to the Business Bootcamp podcast. Today's episode 240 on the show, and today we're going to be talking about a specific topic for those that are wanting to start their business. The people that haven't started yet but have an idea, they have a plan, they have an ambition, a purpose, and a reason for creating a business. And I want to give some thoughts on what I have noticed in the past few weeks. Before we get into today's show, though, big thank you to today's sponsor, cashflowtool.com. If you're a small business owner and there's fluctuations in your expenses or your revenue throughout the month, this is a tool for you. And so whether you're a seasonal business and there's certain months of the year where you're really busy, certain months of the year where you're really slow, or if you're even a retailer that has big fixed costs like monthly rent or utilities at the end of the month, or if you're a business like landscaping, like my company, where we bill a lot at a certain time of the month. Like at the end of the month, we send a lot of invoices out, and so we get a bunch of revenue at a certain time of the month. If there's any swings in your revenue or your expenses, I highly recommend you check this out. It's cashflowtool.com/bootcamp to get a free trial of the software, and you get a discount if you continue with their software on a monthly basis. You do need to have QuickBooks. It's an integration with QuickBooks. It integrates seamlessly and just becomes a fantastic plugin to that software. So if you have QuickBooks, you're a small business owner, and you have any sort of cash flow fluctuations, whether it be expenses or in your revenue, I highly recommend you check out cashflowtool.com/bootcamp and give it a try today for free. So today we are going to be talking about something that I've really been thinking about the past few weeks as I've talked to several entrepreneurs. I have answered several emails and questions. And as always, if you have a question on how to start, grow, or save your business, write me at businessbootcamppodcast@gmail.com, or just go to businessbootcamppodcast.com and you can fill out the application there. Now, what we're talking about today isn't necessarily an easy topic. Usually I'm pretty positive. I encourage entrepreneurs to go for it. But today is a little bit of a reality check and something that it was kind of not disturbing to me, but like, I guess you'd say it was a bit of a red flag or alarming to me when I get these sort of calls or questions from people that are just about to start out. And basically it's coming from the people that have an idea. They have passion around a certain project, around a certain business, around starting a company, and they have the passion, they have the idea, they have all the ideas in the world to how this company is going to become successful, but they have nothing to back it up. They have no business. They literally, like, it annoys me when someone has so many great ideas and passion and they literally are making decisions about, I get worried when people are planning their org structure of 10,000 employees and their $100 million revenue company when they haven't made a single sale and haven't had a single customer. And the reason I get worried about this is because what people do is they get so frenzied in the passion and the idea and what they're going to do and what the possibilities of their company and their idea are, that they forget that they have to start. And so my encouragement today is, if you're in that planning phase of your business, I would say stop planning, start executing. Stop planning and start executing. And I see so many entrepreneurs getting out there, and the reason this is happening is because entrepreneurship has become kind of like a pop culture sort of cool thing that so many people want to do, that all of a sudden everybody thinks they're an entrepreneur, everyone thinks they can run a business, everyone thinks they can be a CEO, and because of that, people think and they plan and they network. They'll go to all the networking events and they'll have their little business card that says entrepreneur on it, and they'll have meetings and they'll meet with mentors and they'll read books. And what I would encourage you to do is stop doing all those things and go start. Go start doing. Stop planning, stop networking and reading books and listening to podcasts and listening to my podcast and my book and all these, and watching YouTube videos. Stop doing those things. Stop planning. Start doing. And that's why I really look at it as like it's like a plane. Has a ton of fuel, has a whole bunch of energy that's ready to be used, but there's no engine. If there's no engine in the plane, it doesn't matter how much fuel you have. That plane is not getting off the ground. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to accomplish the reason for which it was built, which is to transport people. And your business will not transport you from the place you are now to the place you want to be. It will not transport you to a successful career and wealth or whatever you're looking for in a business, freedom in your schedule, a work-life balance, whatever it is. It will not transport you to that place if all you have is fuel but no engines. And when I talk about engines, I'm talking about execution. I'm talking about getting things done. I'm talking about getting sales. I'm talking about growing your business, working hard in the business, and scaling it up via more customers. I'm not talking about fuel. That's passion. That is the ideas that are generated to create that company. And to get it started. And yes, you need fuel to get off the ground. You can't just have engines and a great org structure and a great, a bunch of sales, but no sort of vision or purpose for the company, no direction, no structure. You can't just have the engine and the business. That's why so many people, when they sell a business, they sell a great business, they sell a great engine, but they sell it to someone that doesn't have any fuel, doesn't have any passion, has no purpose, has no meaning for the business long term. And because of that, the same thing happens. That business can't go anywhere. However, what I find more and more often as being an entrepreneur becomes more of a cool thing to do is that people have the fuel and the passion and the energy and all the resources and the mentors and the knowledge, and they've read all the books and they've listened to all the podcasts and the audiobooks, and they've gone to all the conferences, and they have all the energy and fuel that is required. However, they have no business. They have nothing to put that fuel into. And what I would encourage you today is focusing on, if you're starting out, if you're just about to start a business or you have an idea, I would focus on building a small fire and then pour fuel on that fire. So start a business and focus on starting the fire now, and then pour your energy and your ideas and your passion and all the ideas you get from my podcast and all the ideas you get from the books that you read, then start to pour that fuel on that fire. I'm not so interested when people are starting their first business what industry it's in. I'm just trying to get them to start and then start pouring all the fuel they have on that idea, on that fire. Get the fire growing by pouring more fuel on it. Don't get a bunch of fuel and have no engine, no fire, nothing to pour it on. And so I really find too that a lot of entrepreneurs, the next mistake they make is they start a little business, they start a little fire, get the engine going, but then they go focus on some other thing. And so you notice what I said, focus on building a small fire, a small business, and then pour fuel on that fire. It doesn't mean go start another engine, go build another engine, go build another business. It's focus on that engine, that thing that's going to get you started. That little fire, pour fuel on that fire. And the reason I say that is because so many entrepreneurs, they start the business and they get a little bit of success, the fire starts burning a little bit, but then they go take their fuel and they go pour it into some other business, some other revenue stream, some other thing that they get an idea or some other flashy company or industry that they get excited about. And I would encourage you to not get distracted. And because so many entrepreneurs, that's what kind of our issue is, we get distracted. And I am an entrepreneur, I'm a small business owner, and I know what it's like to have opportunities and what it's like to have different things come up. And I'd encourage you today to focus and not get distracted on other engines, other businesses. And yes, they might look like bigger engines, like they have more opportunity, more horsepower, they're going to get you there faster. And yes, there's always a time to pivot and a time to sell your business and go to another business. But I find too many entrepreneurs, they get their engine going on their plane, they get the fuel going in that plane, their ideas, their creativity is flowing, and then they go focus on some other engine. They go look at the next flashy thing, the next cryptocurrency, the next flashy thing that pops up, and they are then pouring their energy and time and their fuel into a different engine, and then all of a sudden the engine that used to be running so well begins to malfunction, not have enough energy, not have enough fuel, and it begins to fail. And so I would encourage you to focus on building your pillar business. And many times that's your first business. It's that little fire that you get started, that you focus on pouring your energy, your fuel, your ideas, your creativity. Pour those energies on that fire and get that business off the ground and get it rolling, get it going, get it a roaring fire is what you want. An engine that is going at full tilt, that is going forward, that is making progress, and focus on building your pillar. What I mean by that is build a business that's going to financially be the pillar to all the other ideas you have. As entrepreneurs, we have ideas. We have things we want to go chase, things we want to go taste, things we want to go, start another, side hustle or side project. We want to start a podcast. We want to start a YouTube channel. We want to start another small business within our company or within the community. And that's all great. That's wonderful. But focus on building a pillar business that is going to pay the bills. What I mean by that is focus on the business that is going to generate enough revenue and generate enough profit for you to go taste other things and not have to worry as much about profitability. And the classic example of this when I think about this is Elon Musk, because so many people look at him as a great entrepreneur, and I do believe that. However, they look at him because he has lots of ideas and he has incredible moonshot ideas of getting to Mars, and then now he has all these other massive companies that are doing amazing things in technology, and people are looking at him as wow, this guy has so many ideas and he's going in so many different directions and he's a great entrepreneur. And yes, that's all true, but I want you to look at his history and look back to the fact that he had pillars within his career, like PayPal, now Tesla, SpaceX. These are the pillars that he builds on financially, and that gives him enough profitability, that gives him enough latitude to then go and do these moonshots and pour his fuel on things like solar energy, and now the Boring Company that's building tunnels. Focus on he can take time and focus on getting to Mars and populating Mars and artificial intelligence and all the things in that technology realm. And so what so many people do is they say, oh, well, Elon Musk is doing all these things and into so many different areas and cutting technology. But yet they don't realize that he's losing money on the Boring Company. He's losing money trying to get to Mars. The SpaceX is making him money. He has this Tesla company. He has a huge amount of equity and it is profitable. Well, not profitable, but it is a huge amount of equity for him that he can give, bankroll on. And so they forget that he's made pillar businesses. And what I mean by that is businesses that are going to make him money, give him enough latitude to then go focus on the other things. And if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur and you feel like you're being torn in different directions, or you have so many ideas or so many passions or so many companies you want to start, so many things that you have brilliant ways of changing the course of an industry or a business, or you just like to do a bunch of different stuff, that's great. That's fine. But I would encourage you, if at all possible, to focus on one thing to make it a pillar company. Make it the thing that's going to generate the revenue and generate the profitability that allows you to then go chase some other ideas, allows you to go experiment and taste other things. And so for me, landscaping is obviously not my passion. However, it has allowed me to create a pillar business that then gives me the financial ability to then go taste a podcast and go write a book and start a course and now open a gym, things like that. And so by doing the pillar business, it gives you the opportunity to still go do those things. But I find too many people abandon the energy and take their fuel other places before that engine is up and roaring and going at full tilt going forward. And it's just true. I just get worried and the reason this comes up is because I've been on the phone with a couple people the past week, answered a few emails where people are wanting to start their business and they have so many ideas, and literally you start talking to them and all of a sudden their business model becomes so complicated because they have 5 different revenue streams in their business. They have 10 different ways of meeting customers. They have suppliers. They have vendors. They have several different segments of the population that they're trying to target. They have reselling programs, and then they have buying programs, and then they have online platforms, and then they have retail platforms that they're trying to sell to, and channels and distribution from different countries. It just gets crazy, and that's fine. I'm not saying that everything's going to be simple, but what I am saying is that far too often we complicate businesses and we complicate things when we just need to get started and start on the simple basics. If you're just wanting to start a small business and you don't have a bunch of money, you don't have a bunch of capital, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to chase all those things at the same time. Like, I'd focus on one idea, one revenue stream within your business. For instance, I'll just take a really quick example, an easy example. For landscaping companies, a lot of them start with lawn care. They become really good at lawn care, and then they slowly grow into landscaping, then maybe into tree service, then into snow plowing, maybe into fertilizations. But they start with a pillar, they start with one thing, the lawn care. And so what I encourage you, if you're starting a business, focus on one aspect of it. You don't have to do 100,000 things. You don't have to start 5 websites and go after 5 different target demographics and 5 cities in the country. Like, go after one thing. And so it was a little bit frustrating because I was on a phone call a couple nights ago, and then I was on another one like 5 or 6 days ago, and it was just someone that is really going 100 miles an hour in 10 different directions, and because of that, they're not getting anywhere. And I just felt really bad because they have so much energy, so much passion. They're staying up late. They're up late. They're working 14, 15 hours a day on this idea, this project. They haven't made a sale, haven't made a customer. But they have an LLC and they have a website, but they haven't made any sales, and they're still trying to take meetings and network. And I see a business like that, I'm like, it's never going to go anywhere because they don't have any clear starting point. So many people get so wrapped up in how it's going to end and the company that it's going to be, and they don't realize you got to start. You got to start somewhere. And so I get discouraged, I get discouraged for them. I get worried for them that they're not going to actually start their great idea. They're never going to be able to realize those accomplishments and those dreams and the changes that they want to make in an industry because they get so wrapped up in all the different possibilities and directions they could be going, but they never actually choose one way. They have so much fuel, they have so many ideas, they figured out how their business is so different than everyone else and the differentiation factor and what their unique proposition is, unique selling proposition, and how they're going to change the world and change their industry and be better than their competition. They have so much fuel, but they have no engine, they have no business, they have no marketing method, they have no online funnel to get people to check out, they have no way to get sales, and they have the customers are confused at what the business model is. I'm confused when they're talking to me about the business model. Where are they going to make money? There's no clear path to profitability. There's no clear path to how they're going to make money, how their customers are going to benefit, how their suppliers and their employees, and where they're going to get the money to do all of these things. And I just get worried that they're never going to start. And so if I could do anything today, I'd encourage you, if you have an idea, if you have something that you're wanting to start, if you have great plans and you've been thinking and pondering and considering and strategizing and writing down notes and plan and forecasts of revenue and forecasts of KPIs and key performance indicators of what your company is going to do, I'd encourage you to stop doing that. I'd encourage you to stop the networking, stop the meetings, stop listening to audiobooks, stop listening to this podcast, stop listening to the YouTube videos for encouragement and motivation. You don't need any more of that. You don't need any more fuel. You have tanks. You have a tanker of fuel. You need to now find an engine, something that you can pour that fuel on. I don't care if it's a spark or a little flame. You need something to pour that fuel on and get started. It's been Mike Andes, and you've been listening to the Business Bootcamp podcast. Until next time, be great, because nothing else pays.